Let me see. God, I can never do this right. 1 second, boys. Always seems to happen this, doesn't it? Let's see. There we go. Here we are. Let's see how that works. And there we are. I believe that should be me on. Hold on. Don't think I'm covering all the sides there. There we go. Spot on. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I think it should be fine. Let me just check on my phone. Yeah. Okay. Big, very different kind of stream today. Things have gone not quite as planned. Chris, thank you. Yep. Carl, yeah, okay, yeah, people can hear me. Spot on. Already 52 views so early on in the stream. Good to see that. I think I'm going to put my chair down a little bit. And then... There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? Thank you everyone in the chat for let me know that I'm not just talking to myself. But look, the news today. I'll cover some news that's kind of breaking, and Reese just mentions it in the chat there as well. Robinson going on a free transfer. His contract being terminated by mutual consent. Yeah, I didn't really expect him to play for us again. I would have preferred to have got a bit of money for him, but it's just getting rid of the deadwood. It was a weird signing because we got him on loan, didn't use him, and then signed him on a permanent deal. He didn't kind of really prove himself when he was here, on loan. And then just, we signed him and he didn't really make any appearances after that. He was tried as a midfielder for a while. And I always kind of liked him. I liked him as a person. He always seemed like quite a decent guy, but it just never clicked with him, and he looked to be a little bit of a level below everyone else. And to be fair, Christopher Williamson says, think most fans would have forgot he was at the club, and to be fair, that's kind of how it feels, especially this season. But yeah, Gary McKay, do you want the manager job, mate? Well, say what you want, but I'd have done a few things differently to the last one. Put it that way. But I think it's important that we yeah, Mike. But heard that. Who do you think will get the job? Says John Graham. Well, look, I think it's important to remember that I think this transfer deadline day is going to be very quiet. We haven't got managers to really, entice players into coming here. Who wants to come to a club with no manager? And look, I understand that's kind of what Rob Edwards is, whatever he's called. Our sporting director, that's his job. Maddox says, as an American fan, how can I follow the team if the worst happens? Just the way you always have done, I suppose. If we get relegated, we're not going to disappear. Hopefully. Brett Preston says Duncan Ferguson. Nah. I think, although that's kind of the manager, that kind of manager I would go for. There is one name that's been circulating recently. And that's all I'm going to say, boys. But yeah, that ain't happening, is it? We ain't getting Steven Gerrard. He's earning about. He'll be earning millions and millions in Saudi. He's not going to come to the bottom of the league. Maybe with the links with Clarkson, but yeah, no, he ain't coming in, is he? To be honest with you, I kind of like it. He's not a Wayne Rooney, is he? Where he's just a big name. Gerrard's had success. If you look at his time at Rangers, he's the only team to have kind of toppled that Celtic. That Celtic dominance is the only one that's managed to do it, and he did it unbeaten for that as well. Maddox said ESPN is how I follow. I don't know anything in the US that covers National League. Interesting one that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But I assume there'll be something. iFollow, whatever the National League version of iFollow is. Dan Morris, shout out, the Last Ditch podcast. He says Neil Warnock, and a lot of people have been saying this, and I as much as I would love that to happen, I think we've got to realise the situation we're in. Why on earth would Neil Warnock? Why on earth would? Why would he do it? What does Neil Warnock have to gain from this? He's retired, kind of. He's mentioned that he wants to get back into it. But look, I would he want this? Because it doesn't seem like his kind of. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he would want it or not. I'd argue that he probably could be doing something a little bit better than the bottom of League Two. You would say the same for Gerrard. Dan Morris says the thing with Gerrard is if he gets it right at Carlisle, it could be unreal. Just a very big gamble with the position we're in. Well, that's the thing, but I think, and I'm surprised that Dan's so positively Gerrard being a Man United fan. But with Gerrard, I almost think it's a big name, and it's and he's got that kind of strong personality that all Scousers seem to have. And I just think, I genuinely think that could be what we need. And even if it's like more than a kind of short-term appointment, which is what I think a lot of people are eyeing up now, a kind of short-term deal till the end of the season. I think if you get Gerrard, which is, again, it's a long shot, it's just, I just don't know. I don't think it would happen, but if it did happen, I think we'd have to get him on more than just a 6-month deal. I'd take Gerrard though. Rooney, absolutely not. No, Rooney is a different beast, all in his own. A lot of people saying Ian Evatt. AJ20 says get Keith Curl back. No, I think we need to stop doing that. I think we need to stop going back to the past, because it just isn't. It just doesn't work. Well, I suppose it did work with Simo, but we need to be moving on and building a future for the club, not just hanging on to the past. A lot of people saying Evatt, but and I think Guy puts it best. It's just Evatt's just Williamson in another body, and he is. He's Williamson's very much Ian Evatt light. It's too it's too similar, and I just can't get behind Ian Evatt. He fell out with the fans at Bolton, and if he's the kind of manager to argue with the fans, Carlisle probably isn't a very good fit for him. Dan Morris says, Man United fan, but a bigger Carlisle fan, and if that means me singing Gerrard's name for us to stay up, then so be it. Yeah, well, absolutely. Norman Price says Gerrard is clueless, but the thing is with Gerrard, he's had success at Rangers. Yeah, and I know that was a while ago, but it's weird. And I don't really know why we're discussing it, because I just can't see it happening whatsoever, because he'll want too much money, and will he want to come back to the bottom of League Two? All the news stories seem to be that we've inquired about it. There's no signs whatsoever that Gerrard's in any way interested. Curl back on a short-term deal, save the club, but would Keith Curl do it? They tried to do that. Where did Keith Curl go? I remember it was it Oldham, I think, where it was I think it was Keith Millen, Keith Curl, and another Keith, and it was the bottom three clubs are all ran by managers with Keith, and it didn't work out from there. Kettlewell, ex-Motherwell, I think that'll be weird if Kettlewell signs Luke Armstrong at Motherwell, gets sacked from Motherwell, and then comes to Carlisle, and Luke Armstrong's just been loaned out, Norman Price says, my dog could manage Rangers and win the Scottish Prem. Well, no one else has managed it since. No one else has managed to topple Celtic since, or, for a long time before that as well. I think in the last 10 years, Steven Gerrard's unbeaten Rangers team were the only team to do it. It's not as simple as that. Scottish football, it's a poor quality, but managing Rangers isn't the same as managing Celtic. Celtic's easy. It's Rangers that if you're gonna topple that, it's a difficult ask, and Gerrard did it. Chris Barry says, is the team not set up for free at the back? Hence the suggestion for Evatt. Well, that's the thing though. But do we want to keep doing what we've been doing? Do we want to continue to stick with the same system that we've been sticking with and failing with? If we're just going to get a stand-in manager to save our league status at the end of the season, who do you think would be more permanent signings to move the club forward? Well, to be honest, if we can stay up, maybe Law's an option. I don't think he'll come back. But that's Clarkson's responsibility, I suppose, isn't it, to find a manager? And and there's a lot being said about, like, I think Peterborough just signed the Man City's under 23s manager or something like that. These coaches that you can bring in from wherever, that you just pull out of clubs, could be the thing. Chris Barry says I'd prefer a back four, and to be fair, with the numbers we've got, a back four means that we don't have to play as many centre backs. Obviously, but in my opinion, the only good centre backs we've got are MacArthur and Sam Lavelle. So if playing a back four means that we don't have to play either Hayden or Barkley, then so be it. Gary McKay says sometimes being relegated is the best thing for a team. We need to rework this team heavily. Yeah, but I'd get your point if we were going down from. I'd get your point if we were going down from League One to League Two like we did last year, but it's something completely different getting kicked out of the Football League. It's not as easy as that. It's just it's so difficult to get back out of the National League. In the club's history, we've been out of the league once, which was in 1999. Mike and Chris both say Terrell Thomas, which I'd agree is a good centre back, but it's just never fit, is he? We'll see what Thomas comes from. But even then, if you've got them back three, they're your only three reliable centre backs, and if one of them gets injured, which these players tend to do, then you're down to playing Hayden or Barkley. But on getting relegated, I just don't. I think it'd be disastrous for the club to get relegated, because there's absolutely no guarantee we'll get promoted again. And I don't just mean the season after. I mean for a good 10 years, because it's that difficult. There's such a strong base of teams in that league. There are 4 promotion spots to League One, but only 2 for League Two. And yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's only the champions that go up automatically, and the playoffs are always a lottery. John says, can we just plough Brunton Park and grow some spuds? But I'm not complaining against that. There's a certain indignity being relegated from the Football League over just down a league table. Exactly, that's what I mean. It's the 92. You're no longer a football club. You've lost your league status, and that just can't be allowed to happen. Choppy says, any news on who's going to get the job? Well, the biggest kind of rumours have all come from Gerrard. So, I'd argue that he's probably the favourite at the minute. Him and Ever, I suppose. But, there's been no kind of reports or anything confirmed on that front. Or there hasn't even been any really big rumours. AJ20 says, heard we put a bid in for Hallam Hope. Any truth in that? I hope not. We wouldn't be in FC 26. Well, I mean that is something, I guess. It's not the reason I don't want to get relegated, but it's certainly a consideration. Yeah, and for a club the size of Carlisle to go into non-league is even more embarrassing. Yeah, it is. And that's the thing, because we've Simo got us up from that league once. I hope it is Gerrard just for a laugh. I think it'd be funny. I think the attendance would certainly go up just from plastic Liverpool fans in Carlisle. But maybe Klopp wants a hobby. Yeah, man. Couldn't hack it at League Two. None of these top coaches can. But no news so far. 17 minutes in. I've got a feeling this is going to be a very dull and quiet live stream. Choppy says, I thought Carlisle would have had someone in sacking Mike Williamson. Well, I think it's going to be a lot quicker than when Williamson was appointed. We have to wait like 3 weeks for Williamson to get appointed after Simo was sacked. Imagine our wage bill in the National League, and that is that is a big thing. Dan says, anyone regretting the takeover could have been done so much better. Yeah, no, I just... People have a very short-term memory, and I remember how just terrible things were at the club before the PTEX came in off the pitch. We had Simo working miracles, but people just seem to have forgotten about the debt that the club was in. That's just the PTEX have just sorted. I'd have taken being relegated to the National League if that debt had gone from the club, because genuinely, that debt to Pure Pay or whoever it was genuinely could have put the club under. The takeover's been an absolute godsend, if not for anything else. And look, they've done brilliant things with off the pitch, but the biggest thing for me is just clearing that debt, because that genuinely was probably the scariest thing for me as a Carlisle fan, that debt. And we'd have been relegated from League One anyways. You want to say positive things about the PSX. Because they clearly care and they're putting a lot of money into it. And I can honestly say that I think we'd be in a worse position if the old owners were still here. Norman Ferguson says, are the owners in town? I don't think so. They weren't when they sacked him, and they weren't this morning. So I was told. I say so I was told, as if I'm in the know or anything. I just saw it on Twitter. I don't think they are. I'd imagine they're probably coming back. Christopher Williamson says no League Cup, no League Trophy, and probably no FA Cup too. Well, we're in the FA Cup next year if we go down, but do you need the League Cup? Is the League Cup really a big miss? Nah, genuinely though, I wonder if the big managers wouldn't cope in League Two, too used to elite resources. Well, exactly. Like Pep Guardiola wouldn't be a very good Carlisle manager. Because, he wouldn't know what to do. It's a completely different game at this level. I genuinely don't think that the top managers would do very well in League Two. Carlisle United's problem has always been ambition on our day. We've played great football. It's just not consistent enough to many thrown away leads. Well, look, Williamson was a bad appointment from the get-go, I think. Williamson should have been sacked after 5 games. Williamson shouldn't have been given the job. We signed him based on the word of a sporting director that we then didn't sign. His appointment from the very beginning has been poor, I think. And I think that's, if I'm going to if I'm gonna kind of criticise the owners on anything, it's Mike Williamson. I think they should have sacked Simo. I think when they did, and I think I agree with them giving him the summer and giving him a chance at the start of this season. The biggest mistake I think they've made is the Mike Williamson transfer. They paid over the odds for a manager that was on the verge of the sack there anyways, on the word of a sporting director that they didn't even bring in. And so we had this head coach, not a manager, head coach, working under no sporting director for a good while before we got Clarkson in. And I just think Williamson was it was just the wrong appointment from the very start. Williamson made Millen look like Pep Guardiola. I'd love to see the stats on that. I'd love to see who's got a better record. I think the joint Instagram post you all made with Last Ditch, etc., may actually have contributed. It was very well made. To be fair, I know for a fact that at the very least, some of the peer techs do pay attention to fan channels, especially Last Ditch. But it won't just have been that. It'll have been, they're not idiots, are they? They've seen the reaction, and you just need to look at the reaction in the ground at Swindon. It's the first home game I've missed in a while. But watching it on the TV, the ground was empty with like half an hour left. People left. People were just sick of it. And it really wasn't acceptable. And I think when fans turn on you like that, it's very difficult coming back. But I like to think that the Instagram post did make some kind of impact. Everyone is looking for scapegoats. PTEX have made mistakes, but they are new to this sport. Well, exactly, and I just think the club's in such a healthier position. Not on the pitch, of course, but like in terms of existing, in terms of not going under. Because I feel like people forget about the pure debt so easily, because I never ever hear it mentioned now. That was such a big concern before the PTEX came in, that debt. Because, the pure just weren't engaging with us at all. They wouldn't talk about the debt, and we just kept racking up more and more with interest payments. And the club was in a very, very bad position behind the scenes, which, and the PTEX have saved us. At least Williamson got our XG up, yeah. Just shows you how good that stat is. Who is it? Christ, I'm really behind on the chats here. They need someone in with experience making football decisions at EFL level. Hopefully Clarkson can be that person, but he's very little experience at Football League level. Well, I mean, Clarkson's not the manager, is he? I do like Clarkson. I genuinely like Clarkson. But the next manager, I think he does kind of that needs to be kind of a priority. But where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? We're in what, February now? We're not in a position to be getting the best managers, are we? I think genuinely what might happen is we'll get somebody like a Neil Warnock in till the season's finished, and then go from there. I think retro kits are just cursed, to be honest. Well, it certainly hasn't worked so far, has it? I would give the job to Peter Beardsley. Let's see what he can do. No. 100% agree. Williamson was a massive mistake. It's a complete shambles. The signing of Kelly, record transfer out on loan. The list goes on and on. That's something, because why on earth did we let Luke Armstrong go out on loan only to then sack the manager? He's a proven goal scorer at this level. If a new manager's coming in, if I was the new manager coming in, I'd want Armstrong in the squad. Did we send him out on loan because he didn't get along with Williamson, or didn't fit Williamson's style of play? Because if we have, that's just a stupid decision. Who's in charge for Grimsby? I'd imagine we'll have a manager in place for Grimsby. I think it'll be very quick. I've even got a slight suspicion that it might be tonight. If we don't get a signing in, they'll maybe try and put it out tonight. As good as the PTEX have been, they appointed Williamson to come in playing passing football with a squad assembled for direct football. We can't turn into Man City overnight. From what from what I gather, I don't think the PTX really saw relegation as a possibility this season when they first came into the summer transfer window. We bought some good players and we had a squad that was, wasn't good enough for League One, but a lot of the players in that squad were the players that got us up from League Two. And we had a good squad on paper. And I genuinely don't think the PTX thought that being relegated was even a possibility. And that's the thing. That's why I think, Williamson was appointed. They didn't think relegation was a possibility. They wanted somebody to come in and try and implement a good style of football. And what's happened is it just hasn't worked, and we've sunk down the table, and now we're desperately in need of some points to get out of the relegation zone. I would have kept Simo for 10 games. Remember, Simo was sacked because it became clear if he wouldn't achieve our promotion goal. Williamson was sacked for getting us relegated. I think if Simo was in charge, we'd be in a better position, but I also don't think... I think Simo should have been sacked when he was sacked. Williamson being a bad appointment doesn't make sacking Simo the wrong thing to do. They did the right thing in sacking Simo. They just didn't do the next part right in the next manager. Mike Gray says, wrong appointment at the wrong time. Hard to implement a new playing style midway through a season. Exactly. Yeah, spot on. Gary McKay says, Pep, if he came to Carlisle, would have even less hair than he already has. Pep Guardiola would struggle at League 2 level. Heard that Gerrard was house hunting in Currick this afternoon. Yeah. Max Butcher's in the chat, fellow co-host of the Blue Army podcast. Go and check that out. We've just recorded a new episode about 10 minutes before this stream started, so that'll be up before long. Hold on. I wouldn't turn up to watch Dross like that. Yeah, well, fair. A lot of people aren't. The tendency has been dropping all season. Yeah, I've had 4 die-hard Carlisle fans tell me that on Saturday was the first time they've ever walked out of a match early. Well, I didn't go, but the only match I've ever walked out of was against Swindon, and it was the Keith Millen game. They got him sacked. It just seems to be something with Swindon getting our terrible manager sacked. Anyone know the crack with the coach and team? What an absolute bunch of muppets. I couldn't tell you the name of any of our assistant managers or coaches. There's no characters there. That you knew Billy Barr, you knew Sheridan, you knew the coaches when Simo was in charge, and I just there just doesn't seem to be any characters in them, does there? There doesn't seem to be anybody with any kind of grit at all, any kind of personality, any kind of motivational, any kind of motivational principle. They just seem soft. That's what happened. They just seemed soft, and it didn't work out. 18 games left. New manager hits the ground running. Back to basics. Personally, I think we have a group of players who can survive. A nice bit of positivity there. And Dave's right. We're 5 points from safety. 1 game, and that's 2. And all of a sudden, then it doesn't seem so difficult. We're definitely not out. We're definitely not out of the race. We're definitely not already relegated. I'm a Wasps rugby fan. We got to 2 Premiership finals, etc., but went into administration in 2020. On the pitch, we were great, but behind the scenes, no transparently and constantly lied to by owners. Well, we've kind of got the opposite of that at the minute. I'm very happy for owners that care like this. Well, yeah, exactly. It's they do care. Dan says need 8 wins minimum, and which it isn't entirely impossible. Spoke to a Gateshead fan who said he's wrecked their reputation there by robbing all their players and then getting sacked by us. What's the rules on getting Armstrong back on loan? No idea. I can't imagine it's within our best interest to just pull him back now. Just because he won't be happy with that. Do you think he's going to being messed around with like that? Being sent on loan and then a week later we sack our manager and bring him back after he's made his debut and scored for Motherwell? Armstrong won't want to come back, and I don't blame him. CUFC 50 says, I think we'll get Ian Evatt. I've got a bad feeling that's going to happen as well, but it just doesn't seem very likeable. Good team on paper. Unfortunately, we play on grass. Exactly. That's in the wise words of Brian Clough, I think. Kelly came on crutches and he'll probably leave on them. Well, exactly. That's the thing there. And to be fair, that signing was made before Clarkson. So I think, there was a lot of bad signings. Too many underperformers on the pitch for both Simo and Williamson. A losing mentality at the club, and I think that is a big thing. That is a big part of the reason we're doing so poorly, is the mentality of players and people. If you go into games expecting to get beat, more often than not you'll get beat. And we go into games expecting to get beat. When you ask why would Warnock come, whoever comes in won't be getting the blame as much as Simo, Williamson, recruitment and the board at fault. Well, it's just a matter of, I think Warnock could maybe do better more than anything. Eric Ten Hag is free, I think. Bizarre that only Williamson has left yet. All his staff have stayed. I think they'll be gone. Because Williamson seems to bring his staff wherever he goes. He's had the same assistant manager for a while. And the same coach and staff. So I assume that they'll go when he finds a new job. Or he'll... I wouldn't be surprised if we've got rid of the coaching staff and just haven't announced it. Pretty sure that there will be an instant recall clause in Armstrong's loan contract with Motherwell. Well, there probably will be, but it's not that we can't get him back. It's just that I don't think Armstrong himself will take too kindly to just being messed around like that, and I don't think it's fair to do that to him. Armstrong wasn't played to his strengths. He was injury-free and lively, so we got shot of him. Exactly. I think it was a stupid decision to loan him out, especially if you're going to sack the manager. Regan, Martin, Linney, bid accepted by the Sounds, just medical to be completed, hopefully some goals to come. He's the National League top goal scorer, isn't he? I wouldn't put your money on it. Fair play to the fans turning up week in, week out, watching absolute drivel for 2 years. Well, we've got a support like no one else. Embleton only got 3.5 years left. Jesus, yeah. Embleton hasn't impressed me. He's probably been the worst of the new signings and, arguably the biggest name. When do you reckon we'll get the new manager? I think it'll be soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it's tonight, but if not, it'll be in the next couple of days. One thing that bugged me in his interviews is when he says we, he's talking about him and his mates from Gateshead, not CUFC. Well, Mike Williamson's interviews were not known for being fantastic, were they? He was notoriously poor interview-wise. I'll just check for some news, make sure I'm not missing out on anything. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. We need to stop signing National League people. They're all the way down there for a reason. No disrespect to them. Well, I'll disagree with that. Our best players have been players that are on the up. Coming up from... You think of the best players we've had so far this season are Whelan and Patching, I think. And they've both come from a lower level. They've earned a move up. The worst players we've had are players who are dropping down levels. Because I just think they come in expecting it to be too easy and they always get a shock. Ian Evatt interviews aren't much better. Well, no, I wouldn't. I'd stay well away from... I'd stay well away from Ian Evatt. If it is tonight, would it be after the transfer window? No, I wouldn't think so. I think they might announce it tonight if it is. I think if it was tonight, they'd do it instead of a signing to kind of put that, to kind of cover that up that there is no signing. Rooney keeps us up. No, he doesn't. I think he's got every club he's managed relegated. I think Whelan has been a brilliant signing. Well, he has, yeah, exactly. Our best players have come from the league below. I can't see Williamson getting another job, to be honest. He will. He will. He's, football hipsters. That's what people want now, is that kind of attacking football. Well, possession football. He's the styrofoam of managers, boring to look at, annoying to listen to, and falls apart with even a little pressure. That's absolute poetry from you there, Gary. There's been a few, but when you think of folk that gets promoted, Callum Guy, etc. Yeah. Like with our budget, we don't need to accept National League level, but there's a lot of easily League One quality players in the National League. National League's full of quality. That's why it's not a guarantee that we come back up if we go down. What do you think about Everett, pal? Personally, I hate it. I'm absolutely with you with that. I wouldn't go anywhere near Ian Everett, although I have got a sneaky suspicion that it might be him. I can't believe Gerrard is 6-1. Yeah. Christ. Can you imagine? I'd actually back that. I'd actually love Gerrard at the club. The PTX of the Americans mould is to get a well-known ex-footballer, to be fair, so Gerrard won't shock me, to be honest. Well, I've got no doubt that they've inquired about Gerrard. It's just whether he would decide to come to this level. I think he'll back himself to get at least a championship level club. Ian Everett has an awful personality and attitude, but would probably get results and avoid relegation. Don't think he's United's future. That's the thing. If Ian Everett could come on a short-term deal to the end of the season, I'd have him. But he won't, will he? Rooney will get match of the day relegated to BBC Two, Mara. Well, exactly, yeah. Only thing with Gerrard is he'd be on a load of money over at Saudi, so his paycheck going to take a massive hit. Well, he's never ever going to get that much money anywhere else. And, you could also argue that he's got enough money now from being there for that long. I think it's just his love of the game that's keeping him going, because he's got every right to retire. He's got nothing to prove. What formation should we play? I mean, it depends who you bring in, doesn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Neil Warnock 4-4-2. What's the crap with Callum Guy? I think he's got pneumonia, apparently. God knows what's happening with him. Most National League players are better than most League Two players, I think. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but there is definitely quality in that division that we can take advantage of. And a lot of clubs have been taking advantage of. If Steven Gerrard played, he would still be the best player on the pitch. He probably would be for the 10 minutes before he tore his hamstring or something. You could tell they're Americans. Surprised they didn't ask Messi, haha, let's sign one of them good soccer players. It's not that. I genuinely don't even think it comes from the PTX. I think it massively comes from Clarkson, having worked with him in the past. I would like Danny Granger. He did wonders at Workington. That's a big step up, though, and it's no experience at this level. Plus, you're taking away the only team that's kind of worse than you in this league. You're taking their assistant manager. You can tell... Yeah, I read that one. Lots of money in Saudi, but the lifestyle doesn't suit everyone. Doesn't suit many people. Does Gerrard need the money? Absolutely not. If it's Stevie G, I'll eat my hat. Yeah, to be fair. I can't say it happening, but I would love it. Brett says, good old 4-4-2 for me, old school. Well, back to basics. At least everyone knows their roles. 4-3-3, Jones and Harris as wingers. Jones has been weird. I don't think he's really played well since he signed. Mate of mine is a Pompey fan. He once shot at Moxon, says championship is too high for his level. Again, though, it's Carlisle fans, and it's a theme that you'll notice throughout the years. They're so attached to ex-players and ex-managers. We need to move on to something different. We can't just be going back for our old players. If it worked once, it'll work again type mentality. We're trying to build something different. We're trying to build something new. Moxon's a fantastic player, but he left. He left us when we were in a very bad position, and I think Moxon's a fantastic player and a legend of the club. But he left us when we needed him most. I don't want him back. How the hell did Tranmere do the double on us? We must be worse than I thought. Tranmere are probably... If we don't go down, it'll be Tranmere. Moxon off to Stockport, says Ross. Welcome to the chat, by the way. Probably be a good move for him. Agree with 4-4-2, but quite a lot of attacking midfielders in the team. Well, yeah, exactly. But what can you do? Definitely need experience, says Christopher. Andy Pearce would do a job for us. It's just there's a lot of options. Why would Mox come here? Seriously, stay at the highest level as long as possible. Andy Priest till end of the season. Ian Evatt, for me, has lower league experience and did well with both Barra and Bolton. But Bolton have kind of hated him even when they got promoted. And if you've got a fan base as disagreeable as ours, which it very much is, I just don't think he'll be a good fit at all. Gerrard may come to us to get back into English football for 3 months, save us, then move up in the summer. Highly doubt he'd agree to a long term, if any deal at all. Yeah, I don't think Gerrard's coming, but I'd love it. Elephant in the room, Simo until the end of the season. Yeah, nah. Again, it failed this season. We can't go back to him twice. We need to stop looking at the past and move on. Just gonna have a look, see if there's any breaking news. Usually on these streams, I'm constantly looking on Twitter and John Coleman and trying to see if anything's happening, but genuinely nothing is happening at all. Like, it's so quiet, it's so dead. 4-2-3-1 with the team we have is probably the best fit. It's a proper Football Manager formation, that. But yeah, but yeah. Look, it genuinely just depends on who we bring in. I don't think the formation's a massive kind of that's not the big issue, is it? It's the mentality of the players. There's a couple of people says Andy Priest there. The Chorley manager. I've just had to look up who he's manager of, but again, I just can't see it. Do you look at someone like Phil Parkinson-esque manager? Worst case, can rebuild next season, no matter which league. I think staying in the Football League has to be a massive priority, no matter the cost. Because if it was last season and it was dropping down to League 2, it's a completely different thing. But dropping down to the National League is so different. It's 10 at night, to be fair, but I don't know if it means out. Well, I mean, we've got 45 minutes of the transfer window left, boys. Come on, let's have a bit of hope. Stephen Bresley just been announced as manager, yeah. Absolutely not. Just beat Wigan 4-0 as Carlisle and FC25 should sign me, honestly. Well, can't be doing any worse job. No, I'm not that easy, Dan. Nearly though. Langstaff has been on the bench all season. I'm surprised Williamson never tried to bring him in. Maybe did. He wouldn't come down. He just wouldn't do it. He's far too good to be sitting back bottom of the National League. If he gets a loan out, it'll be back to a League One club, or why on earth would he come to us? He just wouldn't. Yep. Very, very quiet. Yeah, nothing. Long as I've been in the bench, yeah, I've read that. Magno Vieira. No, he hasn't managed in about 5 years. I mean, he had a good loan spell with us in 2004. He's not coming. See, normally I laugh at fans that say I could do a better job than X, but in Williamson's case, I think it seems harder to fail this much with a team so good on paper than it is to keep them up. Genuinely think if you just say to them players, go out there and be yourselves. Just go out there and be creative. Just do your own thing. I think you get more results than what Mike Williamson got. Big Sam Allardyce, yeah, again, we're not that big of a club to be getting people like that. Whoever takes over is going to have a tough job with Williamson players. They're not Mike Williamson's players though. They're Rob Clarkson's players. That's the only benefit so far of this kind of head coach. This kind of head coach and sporting director role is that they're brought in by the sporting director to fit a style of player that the head coach is then put in to initiate. So I don't think that's as big a deal as people make it out to be. I don't have the football understanding adequate to mess it up this much, lol. My lack of knowledge would lead me to being conservative and getting points. Well, yeah, possibly. Carlisle should bring Sean Dyche. Can you imagine? The gravel eater himself. We'd all love it, wouldn't we? Let's have a look. Nothing yet. The managers that are available for a reason. Will it be a case of trying to get the best of a bad bunch? You don't have to get an available manager. Go and, we bought Williamson. There's no reason we can't do the same thing again. Where's the dartboard, bro? Just above my head. Skelly's in the chat. Don't think there will be much on tonight, but it wouldn't be transfer deadline day without Blue Army TV. Thank you very much. Still have hope. If I had to predict, I'd probably say no, but there's a chance. There's a chance. Greg Abbott will have his hat in the ring. Of course he will. I'm very surprised he's still at the club, to be honest. Because at that Bradford game, their manager went in at half time, reminded them they're in a promotion battle and to get their act together. And ours went XG pass percentage. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They're just not. They didn't inspire any kind of motivation. You saw about Newcastle having an immediate recall clause in the MacArthur deal. No clue if it's true. Well, most loan deals have an immediate recall clause. It's just a fail-safe that it's usually just for if the player isn't getting as much game time as the parent club wanted. Most loan deals will have a recall clause. I'd give Avram Grant a call and give him what he wants. I've heard Tom Senior is good mates with Clint Dempsey. No. The problem is managers make teams around their philosophy of football. Bringing in a new manager means changing that. Look at Man U; they have gotten worse since they got a new manager. Yeah, but we don't need to be fantastic. We just need to not be as terrible as we are being. We just need somebody that's going to, give them a kick up the backside. Daishi football isn't nice to watch, but it's effective. Again, he's going to be looking for a Premier League job. It's I don't know, some fans don't think we are. MK Don's got a deal on Williamson. Oh, absolutely, they've had our pants down. Steve Evans would have been ideal, but we brought out Williamson's contract instead. I could not do with Steve Evans at Brunton Park. Jesse Marsh, says Ross. That's the Leeds fan coming out. I wouldn't want him. I don't like Ian Evatt either. We have the players and resources to stay up. What we need is to pay someone to shout at them, not even coach them, just shout at them. Well, I'd prefer somewhere in the middle, but that would be my priority. Odds some random Bournemouth coach getting it due to the links between the owners. Hope I'm reading too much into it. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you get like the Bournemouth assistant manager or something like that, who's a good proven coach. Has his whole team gone or just him? The statement says him, but I'd assume it's all of them. I'd hope all of them. Is anything likely to happen before the deadline, or can I go to bed? David, mate, I'd probably go to bed. Not. Tune in for the live stream. But yeah, no, seriously. I can't imagine there being much action. We're just as likely to get a new manager tonight as we are a player, I'd say. I can't see anything happening. With not having a head coach, who would Clarkson decide on squad registration detail for tomorrow, or does that not matter now with age of the new signings against the ones who have got... What? Hold on, let me read that again. With not having a head coach, who would... Well, yeah, Clarkson would be in charge of that, yeah. I assume he would be anyways. Never understand that they're unemployed for a reason crack, such as managers like Buckingham, which is who I'd get in my dream world, who will easily get a Championship or High League One job. Well, exactly. There are decent managers in the free agent market. We have some of the best players in League Two, in my opinion. If we get the right guy in who plays the players in their correct positions with a formation suited for survival, we will fly. Get rid of Clibbens as well, says Craig. To be honest with you, he doesn't come across well, does he? But I mean, a lot of the things he does, he isn't in charge of the football side of things, is he? It's only really at the club, the football side of things that are going wrong. So it's he wouldn't be my scapegoat. Issue with Simo to Williamson is we swapped the under-21 England World Cup winner who got us promoted twice, dodged relegation once, for someone who butchered promotion with last season's MK Dons team. Holloway was class on the touchline, Iron Mike like a cardboard cutout. Exactly. Well, Ian Holloway is the kind of manager that we need. Obviously, we can't get him because he's at Swindon now, but that kind of manager, I think, is what we need. If, God forbid, Morecambe don't survive their financial situation, maybe we can take some of them lot. They clearly care a lot. I think their manager, Derek Adams, wouldn't be a bad shout. I do like him, and it's definitely not his fault what's happening at Morecambe. Doesn't matter who we like, it's who can do the job. Williamson was a nice guy, and look at the mess he's left behind, says John Johnson. Keith Curl keeps us up, says Norman Price. But again, it's the risk of... Choppy says, I forgot about Keith Curl. No, he didn't get the last team. He was managing out of a relegation battle. Can't believe we haven't signed a keeper. Well, if we did sign a keeper, because I don't think Gabriel Breeze is the... he didn't have a good game against Swindon, but he isn't the problem in this team, is he? And if we sign a keeper now, then you've got Breeze, Lewis, and the geezer from Newcastle who never seems to play, and plus the new signing, that's 4 first-team goalkeepers. Thomas Hawley back, honestly. No, he's just signed for a new club in the Czech Republic. Has anyone seen Holloway getting annoyed with Brunton Park's groundsman mowing the grass? Watch his post-match, it's funny. I haven't seen that. I will have to look at that. I heard they're after the York manager. York are top of the league, aren't they? Why on earth would he move out of that position? Anyone mention Ryan Law yet? Ryan Law wouldn't come to us. Thoughts on Gerard Link, haha. I hope it's true, but I don't think it is. Well, I think the news articles is absolutely spot on, but not in any of them have I seen that Gerard's interested in the job. People just seem to think that we've approached him. He won't be injured. What about Sheridan till end of the season? No, I just that's the thing. People go back to old managers far too often. We need something different. Sheridan is not at all the answer. York are going well in the league. Well, of course they are, which is why the manager won't leave. He's getting massive backing. They're a very rich club, York, and they've just signed that striker from he was on loan at Old Stones, he's called, for massive amounts of money. He wouldn't leave, and I wouldn't blame him. I think I'd be more concerned if he did leave, because he'd be mental. Williamson being a nice guy is debatable. He did dodge interviews, openly told interviews to their face he doesn't want to do it. Walked down the tunnel without a word. Sure, he was a nice person. He wasn't... I just don't think he was a very confident man, really. I'll never, ever forget that. Everyone seemed to be buzzing about that fans forum that he did. But two of the biggest quotes that I remember taking away from that is Mike Williamson saying about himself, I'm a very shy person and I don't command a room. That's not the kind of manager you want in a relegation battle. Sheridan is a mercenary. Well, of course he is. All these managers are. National League will be a tough league to get promoted from next season. Well, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It's always a tough league to get promoted from. There's some strong teams in that division. There's some good away days. If we went down, I'd be happy going to Morecambe and not Morecambe. Well, Morecambe as well, I suppose, if they're going down with us. But what I mean is, it's been too long since I've been to Oldham away. It's been too long since I've seen Hartlepool play Carlisle. But obviously you don't want that. I'll bet the new manager is a surprise to anyone. No one predicted Williamson. Well, that's the thing, because people seem to think that we're only going after free agents in terms of managers, which wasn't the case last time, so I don't understand why people think it has to be the case this time. Williamson is the biggest clamp that this club has ever seen and ever will see. I'd love to see his record against some of our worst managers in terms of points per game. Williamson loved his stats. I'd love to see that stat from him. We sacked Williamson too late, done the same with Simo, gave full window and sacked at the end of it. It was bad timing, but it had to happen. I don't want to slander the man at all, but I do want to be realistic. Always look forward to different away days. Well, exactly, but I'd much rather that being teams coming up from the National League instead of us going down into it. The National League is as hard a league to get out of, including the Championship to Premier League. Well, it's the difference between professional and non-professional. It's obviously going to be a difficult league to get out of. What happened Saturday with Breeze? Because there's plenty more problems to sort before him. Well, I just think he could have done better for a few of the goals. But if you think of what we used to have with Harry Lewis, he's a definite improvement. He didn't have his best game against Swindon, but nobody did. It's funny because I'm from Whitehaven, living in London near Wealdstone, 10 minutes away from me. If only I wasn't moving to the Midlands in 3 months. Well, Wealdstone Raiders. Even if I lived down there, I probably wouldn't want to go to that ground. Could be playing Scunthorpe next season. Didn't they get relegated again? I think they're in the National League North, but they could be getting out of that. Talking away, yeah. Heard Williamson and Abbott had a fight after the Swindon game. That's why he's been sacked first thing Monday. I don't think PTX will take too much interest in what Abbott has to say, to be honest. Questions got to be asked by the owners and board why Williamson was made manager and his name came up all the time. I smell loads of rubbish. Surely it was other people. Well, that's the thing. It wasn't a good appointment from the start. And that's what you're going to take away from it. The maths is the quote I took from the forum. Clibbins is less useful than a baked potato. He's not on the... He just backs up whoever's in charge. And that's his job. Look, he never comes across well at all, but it's not his fault. Give Warnock a fortune for the rest of the season. New manager in summer. Yeah. I'm glad Breeze started letting in a few goals. If he kept that constantly clean sheet up, somebody would have bought him off us, lol. I'd much rather the clean sheets, to be honest. We might not be bottom of the league. I'll just take another quick glance at Twitter. See if John Coleman's got anything to say. We just cracked 90 views as well, by the way. I'm always blown away by how much support these live streams get. Yeah, nothing so far. Let's have a look. I'm worried about the PTX leaving if their goal of championship in 5-10 years doesn't materialise. I don't think they will. It's not that kind of project for them. I'll take any manager who does away with them goal kicks. Christ's sake. Yeah, hopefully we'll see the back of them. Please don't let Barra beat us. It's televised as well. They've never beaten us since '65, I think. It's not going to happen now. No, but we might be knackered. Anyone that isn't trying to reinvent football and knows how to dish out a bollocking will do. Honcho says, how's it going, guys? It's been a good stream so far. It's been a very uneventful stream, apart from the departure of Robinson just before the stream started. But overall, it's been quite uneventful. What's your take on the derby being rescheduled to a Thursday? Get used to it. It's Sky Sports. It's the way football's going. I absolutely hate it, but it's the way football's going. It's stupid because I'm very, very lucky that I'm off on that Thursday, but a lot of people won't. You've just turned what would be a fantastic game with thousands of fans there, and you've potentially just halved the amount of away fans. And it's just stupid decision. But it's money. They'll do it. They'll do whatever they want. Been something on B. Justin Fienot. Supposedly Kettlewell was at Brunton Park. Can't see that happening. Needs someone with, like Holloway, as you say. Yeah, I don't think. I can't imagine that's true. Neil Warnock is 76. Like her. Well, you never lose it. Now you've said that they'll beat us. Hopefully, I'm trying to jinx it. You've probably said already, but who would you have? I'd have Gerrard, but it's not going to happen. Other than that, I think it's probably worth Neil Warnock, if that's an option at all. That's the thing, I just don't know who's available. But thanks for the comment, David. I think we should start the unlucky lads chant every Cumbrian derby. Yeah, well, let's win the next one first, because it's probably the biggest one yet. There's been no announcement for Vila and Kelly being booted out either. Kelly. Well, where on earth would Kelly go? He's on a 3-year contract, stupid money for a stupid amount of time, and he hasn't been fit for more than 2 games. Who takes him off us? And it would cost a lot of money just to get rid of him, to pay up his contract. And Vila, who would want him? I'm going to try and get the afternoon off, what means I'll have to drive down for the Barra game now. Well, exactly. I mean, I usually drive down to away games anyways, but it's fans being put second again, and it always happens. It's like Newcastle playing away at West Ham on a Monday night out of order. Well, it's not quite that. Admittedly, we are in the same county, so it's not quite that amount of distance, but the precedent's still the same. What's the big deal with Gerrard? What's he done that Rooney hasn't? Probably taken Rangers unbeaten. He's never been relegated. Rooney seems to get every team he goes to relegated. Gerrard's at least had some success. And he just seems to be a bit more clued up, to be honest. I mean, Rooney he's not a smart man, is he? Gerrard's the only manager in the last 10 years to have toppled Celtic's dominance. And he did it unbeaten. I've heard this a lot about Gerrard, but to say that he's had no success is just a lie. Nothing then. Vila has less than 6 months left on his contract. Exactly. I highly doubt that's getting renewed. I live down South Mara. I've been to the Gillingham MK Dons and Wimbledon game. Christ, what a dreadful few games to go to. I feel very sorry for you. I think we lost every single one of them convincingly. Big Duncan Ferguson is available, isn't he? They'd be scared to lose with him in charge. I mean, it didn't really work at Forest Green. Rooney done a job with Derby. I mean, he got relegated. I mean, admittedly there was a points deduction, but he still got them relegated. Rooney's been relegated at every club he's been to. Either relegated or sacked just before he's been relegated. Oh man, I'd love Big Dunk. I'd much prefer him over the manager we've got at the minute. Wyke, Embleton, Dummett, Kelly, here for a last payday, like when Lumley went to Darlow knowing his back was knackered. Yeah, well, Wyke just, I can't imagine him playing for us again. Embleton, well, Dummett isn't going to play for us again. Kelly hopefully won't. Embleton has some role to play, I'd imagine, but it is that a lot of the time. It's players that come from a higher level that come down for a payday and expect it to be easy and just don't put the effort in. What's everyone think if Murphy gets the job? No. He's not even doing that well at Queen of the South, is he? If Newport do the double on us, I'm switching to Carlisle City. Carlisle City would maybe beat us at the minute. Honcho makes the point that Gerrard also worked with Rob Clarkson at Rangers, which is also very true. We're into the last 27 minutes of the deadline. Has there been any news? No. We need to spend the money and get the best manager we can. We've wasted enough money. Why not waste some more American bucks? Well, it's who you get in. At this rate, we should resurrect Kingdom Mail. He's Cumbria's last hope. I'd take Sean Dyche 4-4-2, keep us up. He wouldn't take us, though. Peter Murphy couldn't manage a Chris Packer. That's maybe a little bit harsh, but he's not up to Carlisle level. He shouldn't be coming in. And I don't think he will. I don't think that's anything that the PSX will be looking into. Nothing. God, what a dull transfer there. I mean, usually we get something. Come on, we need a last minute one. Last 5 minutes. Keep the faith. Although there's no manager to bring players in, so obviously that's Clarkson's job now. Will Armstrong get recalled? We've only got 2 proper strikers, and he's banging them in for Motherwell. I wouldn't say he's banging them in. I think he's got 1. Martin Waller says, "What's the crack with the training ground?" It's well, it's meant to be open next year. I think the original plan was to have it open by now, but it's now going to be the start of next season where that's fully operational. But yeah, Armstrong won't get recalled because I just don't think it's fair on him to recall him now. I'm a little late here, says CUO4. But just wondering, did they sack the coaching staff too, or just Mike Williamson? Haven't heard anything. You're not the first person to ask that in the chat tonight. And I'm going to have to give the same answer. I don't know. I'd imagine that it hasn't been mentioned in any statements, but I'd be very, very surprised if they kept them. Wonder how many of the backroom staff will have also left along with Williamson. Well, the thing is with Williamson, he brings the same backroom staff with him wherever he goes, so they'll probably leave for him. It won't be a matter of us having to get rid of him. They'll leave to go on wherever he goes. And he will find another job. He just will. I got recommended an old interview from when Mox rejoined, and Simo said something like, give him the chance to prove he's good enough for this level, and now we're not good enough for him. CUFO says, sorry mate, didn't know someone had mentioned it previously. Oh, no, there's no worry there. But it is the same answer, unfortunately. I wish I was more use, but nobody seems to know. Next season, we should resolve to never wear a retro kit ever again. They're cursed. Apparently so. Probably depends on who they bring in, I suppose. Yep. Peter Murphy's greatest... I'm not going to read that. Playoffs with Annan, that's his best achievement. With Moxon in the team. We'll just have another look there. Williamson's next job will be assistant manager in Morrison's. Come on, he's getting the... You can't walk into an assistant manager a retail job like that. He's gonna have to work his way up from the till. Kits with messages are cursed. Wasps Rugby had a sky blue wear kit to appeal to Coventry City fans, and we went into administration. Who will be in the dugout on Saturday if no one is appointed? I'd imagine probably Devitt like it was last time, and Rudd, who was still here. But I'd very much imagine somebody's appointed before then. I actually aesthetically like the kit, but the message cursed us lol. I quite like the kit. Williamson couldn't manage the Lidl checkout as a former till worker. It's not as easy as it's cracked up to be. My cat will be a better manager than Williamson. Probably fair. Williamson will be at Cleatamore Celtic. I don't think Cleatamore Celtic will want him. Fantastic team. Let's have another look at the Carlisle Twitter. Anything on here yet? Absolutely not. Just Jack Robinson leaving. Right. Okay. I really want to go to bed, to be honest, but we're going to stick it out. Ruddy did a good job last time. Well, I mean, I think they lost every game. So I'm not going to be too complimentary. But we'll see. I don't think it'll come down to that. I think it'll just be... he spoke well. But I think it'll be a new manager, probably in the next few days. How would you feel about no head coach? Keep Devitt and Rudd as... No. It's not going to happen. It just wouldn't happen, and I wouldn't want it to happen. Neither proven, neither the man we need. It just won't happen. I got Carlisle a Champions League trophy in FM24. I'll do the job. That is impressive. My FM24 save. I'm in 2030 now, and I've only just managed to get up to the Championship. Champions League is a long way away from me. It's simple. How has he had 11 signings, then sacked? Well, he should have gone before the window. Does anyone know the experienced striker we were close to getting that Mike spoke about to News and Star? I don't think so. Jamie Devitt, player manager. You think it'll be a fast appointment? Yeah, I think it will be. It has to be. Going down, says Pablo. If you were a betting man, that's probably where I'd tell you to put your money. But again, we're not out of it yet. 5 points isn't insurmountable. Can I ask about your setup actually in your video? I always get confused about a picture frame you've got. Is it missing a corner or is it edited? I think it's just because it's stuck behind this kind of... Hold on. It's stuck... This is the wall. This is like a chimney shaft. And it's just kind of behind it. It's the Jimmy Glass newspaper thing. Hope not, to be honest. Love Carlisle. Don't we all in this chat? Heard it was Jordan Rhodes we were linked with. Americans out of the deaf. Fans give William more time because he spoke well at the fans forum. I don't think he did. I'll never ever forget the fact that he said, "I don't command a room." You're the manager of Carlisle. How can you not command a room? That's your job. That's your job. Your job's to command these players. Into the final 20 minutes. Not long left, boys. Man United in the late 90s had a jinxed all grey strip. Many people think the 74 Carlisle copy they're wearing today is also jinxed. I wish we could blame our failures on the kit. But I'm afraid we can't. One last look. One last look on Twitter. Let's have a look. Nope, doesn't look like it. Check John Coleman. Nope. Right. What was the crack with the steward that got booted out? I did see that. I wasn't at the ground, but I did see a lot of that on Twitter. I think two stewards just got into a bit of a scrap. It's a weird kind of way we do the stewarding at Carlisle. They're imported from Hull. They come up from Hull to do the matches. Some of them do, and you know, it's just, you know, it's just a weird way we do our stewards. And can I just say they're absolutely useless. I mean, I pass the same one. He checks my ticket every week. I've got a season ticket. I know where I'm sitting. Stop telling me which seat I need to go into. It's a season ticket. I've had run-ins with Stuart in the past. They're not my best friends. They actually told me I wasn't allowed to film at the ground about 4 years ago, something like that. They told me that what was it they said? They said if I was caught filming at the ground again, then I'd be banned. Was the thing. So stewards, not my best friends. Did you think the sacking was completely fair, as we can't blame Mike for missed chances, and there has been too many of them? Well, up until the recent games, we weren't really making chances. Hopefully Everton sell Brandthwaite, get some decent money. I really hope they do, but I thought if they were going to do that, it'd have been to Man United. And to be fair, Sir Jim Radcliffe really wanted him. Yeah. Slating a fella for doing his job, poor lad. I mean, you can do your job and not be a job's worth. The sacking was maybe a bit unfair, but only because it's later than it should have been. Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah. The appointment shouldn't have been made in the first place. That's what I keep saying. But yeah. We're approaching the final 15. I was a steward on the away end, and Leeds and Millwall was always fun when they came up. We haven't seen that in a while. Reckon Mike Williamson puts ability to adapt on his CV. Who doesn't lie on their CV? But yeah. Hold on, let me see if there's any updates on the whole Gerrard thing, because all of the big national newspapers were putting stories up about it. No. In the event we go down, I just hope it's not like Oldham or Hartlepool and we find ourselves in a deep hole that we can't claw our way out of for a few years. Well, it can be even worse than that, mate. We could end up like Scunthorpe and go down again. I wonder how many teams have got triple relegated. It's got to be doing something wrong. Everton don't seem to be getting relegated this season, so they won't be forced to sell Brandthwaite. Well, they won't be forced to, but if a big club comes in with a big offer, they'll sell. Because Everton are financially unstable at the minute. If someone comes in with a 70 million offer, they'll sell because they need to. That's just the way Everton is with the whole new ground and everything. They're not financially set up like we are, for example. Stewards think they're important. They're not. They are important. I just don't want them to be Stop checking my ticket. This is. I pass you every single week with the same ticket, and I'm always in the same in the same seat. Chris Beach with Get It Forward, that'll keep the C-Stand dinosaurs happy. Chris Beach got us top of the league. Triple relegated Boston, I think, in the 2000s. That's some good knowledge. I remember when Tipton Town visitors and brought like 30 fans because the bus broke down on the motorway. This is the Jensen Pond Trophy, I think. Sam Cosgrove to Stockport, good signing there. No, don't worry about it. Sorry, mate, I made that sound a bit rude. Not at all. Trust me, we've had plenty worse in this chat in the past. But 15 minutes, the final countdown. Is it going to be any different? I'm going to guess no. We're going to get a manager? Probably going to say no. But I enjoy the streams. Admittedly, I'm quite ill, but that's why my voice is a bit off. So apologies for the sound, but you know, it wouldn't be a deadline day without doing one of these streams, would it? Sam Cosgrove couldn't hit a barn door. He was the one that missed the penalty, wasn't he? A Mistakes Peter man was hyping the fans up by saying the fans will be really excited by our appointment. Then when Mike Williamson announced, you could hear the Tons fans cheer and Upslot groan. Yeah, well, to be fair, I think you've got to hype up your new signing whenever you make it. Last home game I went to was Burton Albion last season when Gibbo needed to change his boots because he was sliding all over the place. I remember that. We won that game as well, I think, 2-1. The only team we managed to do the double over last season was Burton. I'd signed Sam Nom. No. He's Rotherham, isn't he? I can't see it. Again, you people have got to remember that to sign a player, the player's got to want to come. You know, we can't just throw money around. They've got to want to come, and why would you, as a League One midfielder, choose to come to the bottom of League Two? You just wouldn't, or whatever he is. Sam Cosgrove was fitting well then. Yeah, well, we love players who had a poor performance against us in the playoffs. Harry Lewis, cough cough. Can't believe we're still getting 7k home fans. It'll fall off a cliff if things don't improve quickly. I am quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with the amount of home fans because it wasn't too long ago that we were getting 3,000-4,000 home attendances. I signed Matthews Cunha in FC25, so trust me, I know what I'm doing. Pablo the Don has donated £2 saying Michael Bridges. That is that's the very first super chat I've ever had on this channel. So Pablo, forever in history. But thank you so much. Honestly, thank you. People don't feel like you need to do that, but honestly, that's lovely. Thank you. We're staying up now that Clown is gone. I'd like to think so. We were put in a TV show as extras. If we're based on the Busby Babes, they used Carlisle United as the pitch for Man U. I was great fun. Got to meet David Tennant. Don't know anything about that, but sounds mental. Unless you're Charlie Wycliffe. How do you get free past the keeper and then sign him? Well, exactly. He didn't have a good. He's been a poor. He was a poor signing him, wasn't he? And I don't just mean that in a nasty way. He was just so poor since we got him in. And you know, we talked to Thomas Hawley in an interview, which we did for the Blue Army podcast, and the way he spoke about the goalkeeping situation in League One last year was that, you know, he was very, very close to going up and asking not to be played because the confidence levels in the team was that bad. They need to open the waterworks end. Well, if you get attendances back up, maybe. £2 gets you 1/3 of a pint at Brunton Park nowadays. Inflation in age. But on Michael Bridges, I feel like I've just kind of brushed past that. He's just not what we need. He maybe excite the fans a little bit, but he's not what we need. It was based on the Munich plane crash that killed most of the Man United team. Is that? I didn't know about that. Well, I knew obviously about the Munich air disaster, but I didn't know about Carlisle being involved in the filming of it. Wish we still had a striker like Jabbo or someone that just knows how to put the ball in there. Yeah, no, and I wish we had Michael Bridges and, you know, Alan Ross and, you know, John Mellish back, but it ain't happening. It would be fantastic though, wouldn't it? Scarepot Denny says Damien Duff. He signed a long-term contract in Ireland at Shelbourne. As much as I do like him, but again, he doesn't have the experience that we need. And as much as I like him, and I think there's a lot of quality in the Irish league, he's determined to stay there till his kids finish school, apparently. So I don't think it's likely. Pablo says Thomas Hawley should have stayed. Simple as. Well, I think change needed to happen. They just made the wrong change. It's very similar to the Williamson thing. Simpson should have been sacked, but the next step shouldn't have been Mike Williamson. Same with Thomas Hawley. He probably should have been let go, but the next step up wasn't Harry Lewis, or shouldn't have been. It's getting cold up here. I'm still nervous. I know Williamson was a guaranteed relegation, but I'm worried the Piatex have accepted relegation and will be looking for an ASAP promotion, which we didn't do last season. I don't think that's the case. Thomas Hawley wasn't very good, but better than what we have now. Hawley's a nice guy, though, replies to me on Instagram a lot. He was fantastic with the fans. I like Kelly, but he just lacked confidence and didn't get the minutes that I think he deserved. Well, I mean, he hasn't been fit, unless you mean Harry Lewis. Who do you mean? Georgie Kelly's been injured since we got him. So I can't really see the point there. Last 9 minutes, counting down now. Let's see. Can I surprise you all? There's absolutely nothing. Simo had a bad record, but still deserves a statue built of him. But the only reason Williamson won't be forgotten is trauma. Bloke came in, sold Mellish and made us terrible, lol. Don't think it was Williamson that wanted Mellish gone. Or has he? I thought he played against Chesterfield. No, Georgie Kelly. He's injured for a long time, I think. Might as well have a cheese string up top instead of Kelly. Yep. One issue with Simo was his goalkeepers. Well, I think he got rid of his best goalkeeper in Mark Howard as soon as he came in. Hawley was a shot stopper, not the best in the box. Well, exactly. I also think he struggled with low shots because when you're that big, it's hard to get down low. Brunton Park also doubled for St James's Park in about this Premier League advert a few years ago. Fantastic knowledge. Why? Still a good keeper. Well, he was in League 2. But he's in the Czech leagues now, and the lower Czech leagues, and you can only imagine he's there for a reason. 7 minutes left. Let's check the Premier League results. What happened today in the Premier League? There was only one, and it was a 2-1 win for Chelsea against West Ham. Wan-Bissaka with an own goal. Fantastic. Mind blown, haha. Yeah. Nothing. Sam Cosgrove has actually gone to Stockport County. That's just popped up on my Twitter. Nobody at the club said there's going to be no incomings, which is what frustrates me. Say something. Tell us that there's going to be no one coming in. Who's coming down from League 1? That's a good topic. Thanks, Ross. It gives me something to talk about there. Not that it'll impact us much, but Cambridge would look... Oh, it's quite close, you know. There's only 8 points separating 20th and 24th. But it's, as you'd expect, Crawley, Burton Albion, who've managed to pull the way out of it a little bit. They're still 5 points from safety, but they were bottom. Shrewsbury in 23rd and 24th is Cambridge. Did Hawley also not have an issue with catching in the boxes? Well, Sway just punched everything away. I'd rather that than he just leaves it like Harry Lewis does. Breeze does that a lot. He doesn't catch things. He punches them, which as long as it's out, it's out. Mate of mine doesn't like the idea of Gerrard because of his time at Villa. Well, I mean, look, you can fail in the Premier League and still be good enough for League 2. I mean, surely that goes without saying. I know he didn't have... He wasn't awful. Well, he was towards the end. final 5 minutes. Thank you all for staying in so long, by the way. This has been it's been very good in terms of consistency of viewers. We've constantly had about 82 viewers for this whole stream. Before he left, Williamson said he didn't know, but hoped so that there would be another signing. But that signing could have been completely off-put by Williamson going. So, I mean, anything can happen. But we'll have to wait and see, because there's still 4 minutes. I mean, a lot of clubs wait till the very last minute, don't they? I think the most signings, if you make it down to the minute, the most signings will happen at the very last minute. I think. I'd imagine. I bet you that's a stat somewhere. Most of the more than any other minute across the transfer window, the last minute is the one that has the most signings on. That's probably very obvious, actually. Where's the St. Lucia flag, says Ross. I left it downstairs. Or did I? Yeah, I think I must have. Oh, well done. No, that's the wrong one. No, unfortunately, it's downstairs. But that'll be getting brought up if Terrell Thomas ever scores a winner for us. Who do you think we will get? I think it will be Bolton's old manager, so Ian Evatt. Well, yeah, John Graham says we signed Killian last minute. It's maybe a good incentive not to sign players in the last minute. Was Ian Evatt in charge when we beat them 3-1? Yeah, I think he was. Lovely comment from Guy Moffat there. Thank you for Blue Army TV. Love your reviews, win or lose. Mostly losing. It's been good crack tonight. Thank you. And I'll repeat it. I enjoy doing these live streams. I always say I'm going to do more of them and never get around to doing it. I'm a little bit disappointed that the manager was sacked on deadline day, because usually these would be 2 different streams. If they'd have just done it yesterday like they should have done, I'd have been able to get 2 live streams out of it. But yeah, thank you for the support in this stream. And we got a lovely little donation as well at one point as well from hold on, who was it from? Pablo. So yeah. Just the final countdown now. I'll take it to the second. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. You know, if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen now. Let's wait and see. Put your money in the chat. Go on, everyone. Yes or no? Yeah, yes, we're signing someone, or no, we're not. Let's see what everyone thinks. I'm firmly in the no camp, but it'll be interesting. Let's see what the viewers think here. Maybe we'll win the Cumberland Cup, but honestly, I'd rather my centre mid Celtic did. Clear move Celtic. I think we're already out of it, aren't we? Or maybe not. Okay, yeah. We're getting a lot of no's in the chat. It's wonderful you read everyone's messages. Usually people get ignored if you don't pay. It means a lot that you read them all. It's such a great channel and proper fan channel. Oh, thank Gary, you're going to make me blush, man. But no, I do appreciate it. Yep, no. People aren't convinced. And that takes us into the final minute. 40 seconds left. Carlisle United are delighted to announce Josh Coyote on undisclosed fee. Yeah, no. That has not happened. Let's see. Oh, Pablo's put another £2 in. What a hero of the chat. And thank you, all the best. Let's hope we can stay up. Absolutely, my friend. And thank you so much for, being the first and second super chat this channel's ever had. And that should be 3, 2, 1. 11 o'clock. One last refresh of Twitter. Who'd have thought? Do they have to announce free agents before 11? We can have someone, but don't announce it tonight. Well, we don't have to do. There's no window over free agents. We can sign free agents in the middle of the season if we want. We are Carlisle City beat under 19s. Okay, nice, good one, Ryan. I've not seen anyone on crutches going into Brunton Park, so no. I'll wait till the clock goes to 01 just in case they're a little bit late of announcing it. But no. As we come into the last seconds of this stream, thank you so much again. We're currently up to 80 views again. Thank you all so much for the support, and every single time these live streams get more and more watchers, and it's fantastic. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Pablo the Don, for his financial contribution. Gary says, what a wonderful live stream. First one, definitely not the last. Thank you very much. Did you see McGoldrick's finish? Yeah, we are very far off that. Oh, yeah, sorry, we are out. Carlisle beat us. And, yeah, so Moxon to Stockport. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's good.